Hello class! This week we learned about Chickering's theory of identity development. I charted my development using the 7 vectors. I would say that the first vector I went through was managing emotions, so it went a little bit out of order than the book. I was a student that lived on campus. I moved in with a roommate that was a super close high school friend of mine, and I only moved 15 minutes down the road from where I grew up, my parents' house. So handling my emotions in that transition was pretty simple because I not only knew who I was moving in with, but I also was very comfortable with the environment because it was my hometown. So from there, I would say that the vectors proceeded in order. Developing competence was a vector that was gradual for me, as learning how to adjust to college and pursuing and passing classes and interacting with my peers. It was difficult for me due to environmental influences that I'll mention a little bit later. Moving through autonomy towards interdependence was another vector that I would say. Personally, I had admonitions that influenced. However, I proceeded through that stage following developing competence. Developing mature interpersonal relationships was a vector that spoke on making friends, and as I said, I moved in with a very close high school friend of mine that, I stuck really close to. Eventually, I ventured out and made, lifelong friendships, but in the beginning, it was very close to my roommate and my friends from high school. Establishing identity was a vector which I think was pretty simple because my friends helped me discover who I was. So my friends from high school, my friends from college, they all allowed me to be myself and to just really learn about myself. Developing purpose, I would say that I had a very strong interest in my major from day one. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted to learn about. I knew what interested me. I knew what didn't interest me. And I was probably one of the few college students that entered college with one major and graduated in the same major. Developing integrity. When I left college, I knew who I was, what was important to me, and what I wanted to live my life like. This vector made complete sense to go at the end of my map because it kind of rounded out my college experience and how I learned and discovered myself. My environmental influences and admonitions. First, the institutional objectives. My high school was an inner city school that did not prepare students for the transition into college. So it really had an influence on how well I did competence-wise. So another factor that played into that was the institutional size, as Michigan State University. It's a huge university, and it took a while for me to develop competence, as that was not the smoothest of learning transitions. My friendships and student communities were also environmental influences, as I, again, began with a group of friends. We weren't able to learn off of each other as much as you would in a new group of friends because we all kind of came from the same background, the same school system, the same classes. We were all on the same level, and as far as learning from peers and learning off of each other, we didn't quite grasp that until we ventured outside of our circle to make friends that are different from where we came from. Admonitions would consist of my diverse background, as I am a Latino woman who is a first-generation college student. I think that had a lot to do with the way my vectors played out, being able to live so close to home. I didn't get that homesick feeling, as, family is a strong part of who I am and what I believe in and what I prioritize in my life. So all of these, I think, played a huge part in how I mapped out my vectors and how they landed in order. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to watching everybody's videos.